Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mohamed Kante.
Close your eyes for a little bit. Nah, I'm kidding. These lights are looking too good. I think, I think you'd be hitting me right. But instead, I want you to imagine something with me. I'm standing in the stadium in Athens, Greece, watching something that leaves me completely enthralled. Groups of teenagers from 193 countries have taken over this space. Each team has its own space that is proudly decorated with flags and cultural displays. The team from Madagascar is playing traditional music, while the team from Japan is demonstrating origami. It's organized chaos at its finest, with teens in the colorful jerseys zigzagging between the spaces like it's a perfectly choreographed dance. I'm here as a volunteer robot technician at the Earth Global Challenge, a robotic competition that brings together teens from every nation on Earth. And since 2017, I have experienced the same euphoria every single year. Before a crucial match, I see something that would make any UN diplomat's jaw drop. 16s from two alliances that are supposed to be competing stop. Think 16 teenagers from 6 different nations pulled out their phone, started gesturing wildly while pointing at a diagram, and they came up with the collective light bulb moment. What if, instead of competing, we collaborated to help everyone win the most amount of points? What these teams realized is that by coordinating their strategy, both alliances could achieve far more than either could alone. On paper, this makes no sense. But in practice, it's pure magic. I'm an engineer from Mali, and I founded iNerd Academy, a social enterprise that brings STEM education to youth across Africa. That work has earned me the invitation to the inaugural First Global Challenge. That's what I said. And I brought in the very first team from Mali, and I mentored them to a gold medal. Over the last 9 years, I have interviewed more than 2,000 students, mentors, and volunteers. And standing in that stadium, watching strangers become family in real time, the same questions kept echoing in my mind. What is the engineering of this belonging? Why does it only take 72 hours to turn fierce competitors into family when diplomats haven't managed it in 72 years? Here is what I found out. The magic is not in the people nor in the place. The magic is in the engineering. But not engineering like machines, though. Engineering like the rules, the incentive, the design, the game itself. Here is why this matters to every single one of you in this room. We spend billions every year trying to design belonging by fixing people. Diversity trainings, retreats, posters. But on Monday morning, everybody goes back to the same lunch table, the same silos. The patterns don't budge. You know why? Because we keep solving the wrong problem. Instead of trying to fix the people, what if we fix the environment? My mother, she passed away in 2006, used to tell me, if you want change, create a space where unlikely collaboration can flourish. She had the wisdom. I'm just the engineer who finally drew up the blueprints. I call it engineering for design, for belonging, and it runs on 3 pillars. Pillar 1, make identity visible. Before any competition begins at First Global, every team runs in the parade of nations. Also, the arena floor is mapped like a dense urban blueprint. Think 193 pits, arranged like micro-countries side by side, proudly showing the flag, the music, and the stories. All this happened before anybody touches a robot. There is a Zulu greeting, Sawubona. Sawubona literally means, I see you. Not your score, not your output. I see you, your people, your story, your word. When we require people to share who they are before we judge them on what they can do, then people stop hiding. And when they stop hiding, they start connecting. Here is a quick test you can run in your own environment. Ask, do people know each other's stories or just each other's scores? If it's only each other's scores, then you have a room full of performance and a deficit of trust. Pillar 2, engineer interdependence. At First Global, no team can win alone. Every match, teams are randomly assigned to an alliance. So your former partner could be your next challenger. Your success literally requires their success. When the Yemeni team's robot fail, the American teams don't celebrate. No, they run and help. Because if one team from an alliance fails, the entire alliance loses. There is a word for this in Southern Africa, Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am because we are. And here is a quick test. In your environment, can one person win while the people around them lose? If the answer is yes, then redesign it. Now, we're going to move on to the third pillar, pillar 3, reward compassion. At First Global, there are technical judges that scores the robot. There are also other sets of judges that score something else entirely. That is generosity, kindness, and character under pressure. I remember in 2018, the team from South Africa brought in a second set of robots, and they ended up donating it to an opponent team. The South African team lost in ranking, and they won a gold medal, as a way to show you that if you reward compassion, then kindness becomes a strategy. We have a Bambara saying in Mali, Baraji. Baraji means the reward the universe owes you for kindness. It's a belief that no good deed is ever wasted. Now, here is a quick test you can run in your environment. What gets the loudest applause? Is it individual victory or helping other people succeed? If it's individual victory, then you have quietly built an environment that reprimands kindness. And to redesign it, you don't need new people. You just need new incentives. So, 3 pillars. Make identity visible, engineer interdependence, and reward compassion. Now, I gotta be careful with what I'm claiming here. I'm not saying that this solves trade wars or rewrite treaties. I know international diplomacy is far more complicated than the robotic arena. In fact, earlier that week in Athens, I remember seeing teens from rival nations quietly slip out of a group picture, afraid of what would happen back home if they were caught smiling with the other side. That's the gravity these kids live under. But what I'm telling you is this. What work in the robotic arena also work in the room where you and I actually live. Your team, your organization, your communities. In fact, I run a small program in my own community based on the same 3 pillars, with kids from different socio-economic backgrounds using the very same 3 pillars. The kids' result improved. But I expected that. What I did not expect was the parents. Corporate lawyers and household helpers, people divided by invisible line, ended up showing up at the same events. They started talking. They started collaborating. When you engineer for belonging, it spreads. The last evening in Athens, as I was walking out of the stadium, I remember seeing near the steps 2 girls, one from Somalia, one from Ethiopia. They were both still wearing their team jerseys with smile and tears on their face at the same time. The Ethiopian girl held her friend's hand, promised you would text me when you land. And the Somalian girl pulled her into a tight hug. Of course, we are sisters. 2 nations, a relationship the world would have called impossible. It only took 72 hours. That's not diplomacy, that's design. So in your environment this week, find a rule that recompenses isolation. Change it. You don't need new people. You just need new structures. Because belonging doesn't happen by luck. No. Belonging is design. So let's design it together. You are welcome.